Well, as we begin our renewal this year of the annual Catholic appeal here in Western Washington in the Archdiocese of Seattle, it continues to be a profound and vivid image of what we are called to do as church. That is to assist all of those many, many ministries, more than 60 of them, that try to walk along with people and image, witness to the presence of the risen Christ. So it is my great privilege and pleasure to introduce this morning a former colleague from the Chancery who I began working with more than 15 years ago now. Cohen Moore is the director of the Office of Discipleship now for the Archdiocese of Seattle. And the ministries that she is responsible for overseeing are many of the ministries that we will support this year with our gifts to the annual Catholic appeal. Some examples of those ministries that Erica is responsible for: pastoral care ministries, the missions office, inclusion ministry, multicultural ministries, leadership and transition services. She supports the deacon formation program. Deacon Scott was just telling me before Mass this morning that last week she was there for the deacon gathering there for the new deacon candidates. She is also, as if that wasn't enough to do, she's the interim director until a director for marriage and family life has been secured. She's also responsible for overseeing CYO athletics, multicultural youth ministry, and parish youth ministry. It's amazing to think, Erica, that in your spare time you're also a wife and a mom. So I am going to invite Erica to come up and just describe a bit about how our support of the annual Catholic appeal can help the Archdiocese and some of these ministries walk along with people in their journey of faith. Erica, welcome.
Thanks, Father Gary. Sometimes it's easier to do your job without hearing your title. So I have to say, Father Gary and I started working together over 15 years ago at the Archdiocese of Seattle. And when Father Gary arrived, it was the first time I felt tall in the office. And hi, Deacon Scott. So I've had the opportunity to work at the Archdiocese for 16 years, and I get to travel the diocese 6 hours north to south and cover 174 parishes and I believe 74 schools. I see one of our principals sitting right here. And it's just a wonderful opportunity. And in any given day, either myself or one of my staff have the ability to visit someone in a prison, go into a hospital and work with the administration to make sure our Eucharistic ministers are welcome. We go into our multicultural communities and make sure that they are well served and they feel welcome. We have the opportunity to do something as crazy as going on cargo ships to make sure that the men and women that travel the seas for 9 months out of the year feel supported, and many of our Catholics, so we try to give them the Eucharist out at sea. And I could list probably 150 other things we do on any given day, but I have 7 minutes, not 70. So I'm going to just tell you one story that's really impacted me over the past few years. When I came to the Chancery, I started as the detention ministry person, and that was my only job, if you can imagine. And it was just a wonderful ministry, and right away I met a man, I'll call him John, and he, as many of us do, lived with addiction and just was struggling to find his way out. So I saw him at a multitude of facilities. I would see him at Snohomish County Jail, the Monroe Correctional Center, Stafford Creek Correctional Center. I'm sure he spent some time at the Clark County Jail. I know he did some time at the L'Arche Correction Center down here in Vancouver. And just to my amazement, a couple years ago, he was at Monroe and he said, "Eric, I'm ready. I'm just done. I have a daughter. I don't have custody of her. I have a father who's ailing, who's taking care of her. I need to get out." And so he did. And he said he would come visit me in my office, and I wasn't sure if he would, but he did. And in a half hour, when we knew this was real, we knew he was ready to make the commitment, we knew he wanted to become sober, and so we took him in. And he, within a half hour, we called the Catholic Schools Department, and we were able to get his daughter into a Catholic school. We found him a parish. We called Catholic Community Services. We were able to get him some housing, some temporary housing, and so on and so on and so on. But I will tell you, it was a multitude of people involved in this process. And then at the end of the day, he's going to be sitting here like one of you and as a family member, and his daughter will be celebrating her first Holy Communion in a couple weeks, and he will be sitting right next to her. And I will tell you that is a profound moment for all of us. And like Father Gary was saying with the story of Emmaus, we walked with that family, but it was all of you walking with that family. It's through your continued support of our ministries at the Archdiocese, it's through your continued prayers that we're willing to see these little miracles happen on a daily basis. So I can't thank you enough. This parish has been more than supportive for the many, many years with the annual Catholic Appeal, financially, through your prayers, through your volunteer work, and so we thank you. And I will be here today in the back. If you have any questions, I always try to wear a loud color so you can find me. And I really thank you. I get the opportunity, like I said, to visit 174 parishes, and this parish is alive, and it's fun to see. So thank you. Thanks, Father Gary.
Thanks, Erica. As Erica said, we have a long history of supporting the annual Catholic Appeal, long before I came, but also since I've been here. Our goal this year in our support of the annual appeal is just under $172,000. Sounds like a lot of money, and that number would scare me if I didn't know our history here. We've done that for the last number of years, and I assume we will continue to support the Archdiocese at that level. So again, thank you, Erica, for the ministry that you do of walking along with. You know, all of us can't be present to each one of those ministries that are done in our name, but we can support them. So I ask your help and your support. Those of you who have given to the annual appeal in the past, you've received this past week a letter from the Archbishop with a specific ask for a donation. If you haven't given in the past, I ask you to consider that. You've also received, all of you have received a letter from me asking for your support as well. One of the guidelines that we look at, you know, in terms of stewardship, we think of if our goal is 10%, 5% to the parish, 5% to other charities, this comes out of that other 5%. So hopefully you've kind of budgeted that in your stewardship budget this year, and then the diocese asks for 1% to actually go to support the ministries of the Archdiocese of Seattle. So again, in advance, thank you, because I know that we will meet our goal because of your generosity and your real care and your faithful stewardship of your resources. And then one final thought that I have to share is that while Erica may have been happy when I joined the office in 2002 because I was one of the shorter members, I have to point out I wasn't the shortest. There were two other people that were shorter than me, so it was a very short office, let me say. But we did good work together. So.